A warm place to sleep nearly cost a Valley homeless man his life. McAllen officials say the quick actions of a city employee made all the difference. Channel 5's Trayson Bragg joins us with what happened.
This sanitation worker is being called a hero tonight. The assistant city manager says had he not followed procedure, the situation could have turned deadly. Life isn't easy living on the streets.
Not just anybody can live out here.
This man asked us to hide his identity. We'll call him Sam. Sam says he feels blessed to now have a home to head to after a long day of asking for change on the side of the road. Sam tells us that wasn't always the case. He spent 5 years living on the streets.
I will stay in the dumpsters where there's cardboard. Cover up with the cardboards to go to sleep, take a nap.
Sam says that's a decision he was forced to make out of necessity.
It's a shelter, and when it was cold at night, keep warm in there.
He tells us he knew the risk he was taking. Sam tells us he'd make sure to wake up at sunrise to avoid any dangers.
Before he started his shift this morning, he climbed into the back of the truck to clean off the lens on that camera to make sure he could see well.
McAllen Assistant City Manager Jeff Johnston says the decision would later prove to be a life-saving decision. Johnston tells us this morning a city sanitation worker was on his route collecting trash from dumpsters just like every other day. That is until he got to a dumpster located at Savannah and 11th Street.
There was an individual who had been sleeping inside the dumpster who wound up in the back of the truck.
That's moments before the trash in the back of the truck was going to be compacted. Remember that camera Johnston mentioned? Well,
each time they dump, they're supposed to look back there, make sure there's nothing in there that's not supposed to be there.
Johnston says the city employee called the McAllen Fire Department and the man was later rescued. Johnston urges folks to stay out of and away from dumpsters just like the one you see here behind me. For those without homes seeking warm shelters, Johnston asks that you please head to a shelter instead. In Westaco, Trayson Bragg, Channel 5 News at 6.
McAllen Assistant City Manager Jeff Johnson tells us sleeping in dumpsters isn't only dangerous, it's not allowed. This is a Channel 5 News Extra. McAllen Code of Ordinances, Section 9041 states dumpsters shall be used exclusively for garbage, trash, and recyclables. Section 9147 states no person shall remove any garbage or trash, recyclable materials, or other waste from an approved container. Johnston says breaking either of these codes could result in a fine of up to $500.